Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on R at 4. With me, Sabena Izuku. The People's Democratic Party claims the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Yemi Osinbajo, has sworn to an oath to resign within 6 months if the party wins the March 28 presidential election. This, according to the PDP's presidential campaign team, is to pave way for the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, to take out the position. Spokesman for the campaign team, Femi Fani-Kayode, said at a news conference in Abuja that the real plot is for Tinubu to eventually become president.
The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization wishes to use this forum to expose the ungodly plan by Senator Tinubu to seize the presidency of Nigeria by subterfuge. You will recall how Senator Tinubu wanted to be running mate to General Muhammadu Buhari in spite of the nationwide resentment for a Muslim ticket that he and General Buhari planned to foist on their party men and women. Now, the real reason Senator Tinubu nominated Osinbajo has been made known to us, and we hereby offer a public service to the Nigerian people by drawing national attention to it. Credible pieces of information at our disposal indicate that Tinubu has perfected plans to come to power through the back door. Senator Tinubu, according to our information, has compelled Professor Osinbajo to swear to an oath that after 6 months in office, he would resign as the vice president in the unlikely event that their party wins. The wicked plot, as laid out by them, is to force Professor Osinbajo to resign for Senator Tinubu to be nominated by General Buhari as his replacement. The ultimate objective of this plot is to ensure that Tinubu becomes president.
The All Progressive Congress says the sickening and outlandish claim by the Good Luck Jonathan campaign organization that the APC national leader Bola Tinubu plans to become vice president through the back door is designed to divert attention from the success of the party's presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari at the Chatham House in London on Thursday. In a statement in London by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, the party says the PDP and the Jonathan administration do not have any answer to what the APC described as an epochal moment that has separated the wheat from the chaff. APC described the claims as the latest in a series of desperate moves by the PDP and the Jonathan administration since the emergence of Buhari as the APC presidential candidate, and the clearest indication yet that they have no answer to the unstoppable momentum of a man of history. APC said as much as it has so far refrained from engaging Fani-Kayode in what the party called his game of character assassination, abuses and irresponsible name-calling, the party is becoming seriously concerned that he may be caving in under pressure and reverting to his undignified past of substance abuse. The federal government has lashed out at Nigeria's leading opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, for allegedly indulging in propaganda in a bid to run down the achievements of the Jonathan-led administration. It also insisted that there are no plans to remove the chairman of the Independent National Election Commission, Atahiru Jega. Supervising Minister of Information and Minister of Culture and Tourism, Edin Duke, says this at a maiden interactive session with journalists in Abuja. He maintained that INEC chairman will go through the natural process of exit from office at the appropriate time.
Struck down 1,000 times will always rise again, because the eternal age of time belongs to truth. And that is very true and peculiar of the Jonathan administration. You cannot use all the social media in this world and all the billboards and posters in this world to say that the trains that were not moving 30 years ago are not moving today. The issue of the INEC chairman, I aligned myself with what the president said, that he has no plan to sack the INEC chairman. That is not to say that if it is time for the INEC chairman to naturally exit his office, all right, then the natural course of, things will not take place.
A civil rights group, Rule of Law Development Foundation, has dismissed insinuations that the presidency is plotting to send the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, on terminal leave ahead of the 2015 presidential election. Senators from the All Progressive Congress had, at a media briefing in Abuja, alleged that arrangements had been concluded to send Jega on terminal leave next week. But former president of the Nigerian Bar Association and coordinator of the group, Joseph Daudu, faulted the position of the federal lawmaker at a forum in Abuja. He expressed confidence that INEC chairman would not be asked to embark on terminal leave at this point in time. The National Human Rights Commission and the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room have jointly agreed to protect the independence and the credibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission. They are also demanding an independent investigation of the role played by some military personnel and political office holders during the 2014 governorship election in Ekiti State. The two bodies said this in a joint statement issued after a meeting between the Commission and a coalition of about 60 civil society groups. Both sides reviewed the Commission's pre-election report and advisory on violence in the 2015 elections and concluded that credible elections must hold on the designated dates. They also expressed concern about the possibility of dragging key institutions into politics and agreed to work together to protect the professionality and neutrality of all security units to be deployed for the elections. The statement was signed by Chidi Odinkalo for the Human Rights Commission and Clement Wanko, the convener of the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says 78.93% of permanent voters' cards have been collected across the country as at Thursday, February 26th. The figures released by INEC spokesman Kayode Idowu in Abuja show that 54,327,704 eligible voters have their cards. This is out of the 67 million cards the Commission says it delivered nationwide. A close look at the statistics indicates that Jigawa State had recorded a 98% rate of PVC collection, followed by Gombe State with 95% and Akwa Ibom State with 94%. The figure from Lagos State shows that 63% of voters have collected their cards, while the FCT has 62%. The only state with less than 50% PVC collection in Ogun State, where only 44% of the cards have been collected by eligible voters. The resident commissioner of INEC in Lagos State, Akin Oribiyi, says over 1 million permanent voters' cards are yet to be collected by the registered voters in the state. Oribiyi made the disclosure while demonstrating workings of the INEC card readers to Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola and members of the executive at the Lagos House, Ikeja.
3,693,000 so far have been distributed, and we still have in our custody at the moment 1,800,000 cards. We're still expecting to receive in Lagos another 430,000 cards, thereabout. Everything should give us roughly 5,905,000 cards. So we keep on appealing to our people to do come out to collect these cards. From this Friday till Sunday, again, we'll be at the polling units for the purpose of distributing these cards. So people should kindly come forward to collect their cards at the polling unit.
After the demonstration, Governor Fashola urged the electoral umpire to invite other political parties for the demonstration of the electoral card reader purposely for the forthcoming general elections.
We should also perhaps call a meeting of all the political parties together and let them know how this process also works, so that they can then become your foot soldiers in educating their supporters and their members. And we must do more of this because, as you said, this is the first time we're using this machine. And I think the next 2 weeks will become very critical in enlightening people how this process works.
The break, Defense Headquarters says many assaulted weapons and vehicles were recovered and some destroyed. Just stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform, and that's on facebook.com/CoreTV News and on our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. For news updates and other programs, you can watch us on our youtube.com/CoreTV and the news. The Nigerian military authorities say troops have flushed out Boko Haram insurgents from Bara in Yobe State after 2 days of fighting. They also disclosed that a similar operation in Gulak, the headquarters of Madagali local government area of Adamawa State, was successful. Defense headquarters said through its Twitter feed that many assaulted weapons and vehicles were recovered or destroyed. It was silent on the casualty on both sides, but stressed that cordon and search operations are underway in the two communities freshly recaptured from insurgents. President Goodluck Jonathan is confident that Nigerian troops will recover more territories from Boko Haram insurgents as they step up the momentum of ongoing counter-terrorism operations. He stresses optimism at audience with the outgoing French ambassador to Nigeria, Jacques Champagne de Labroil, in Abuja. President Goodluck Jonathan said officers and men of the Nigerian army he met on the front line in Borno and Adamawa states were in high spirits, well prepared and determined to successfully complete the operations against the Boko Haram. Presidential spokesman Ruben Abati quotes the president as saying soldiers would soon clear the terrorists out of the areas they are still occupying. He also restated Nigeria's appreciation of France's support for the country and its neighbors in the fight against terrorism and commended President François Hollande for organizing the Paris Summit of Heads of State in May 2014. In his remarks, Ambassador Labroil says France was confident in the future of Nigeria and its ability to continue playing a huge role in Africa and the world affairs. The ambassador also expressed delight at the improved trade and economic ties between the two countries in the last 3 years, noting over 250 French companies are currently operating in Nigeria. Following the twin bomb explosions in the city of Jos, Plateau State, security agencies in the state have confirmed the death toll as 13 lives and 14 injured. Speaking to journalists after the blast, Plateau State Commissioner of Police Nasi Oki, in company of the Special Task Force Commander David Eniete, says calm has returned to the area as people are beginning to go about their normal business.
At about 5 minutes after 6 o'clock, there was a bomb blast opposite the Bauchi Motor Park, where some people lost their lives. About 15 minutes after 6:02, another bomb blast occurred too, that one at Angwarugu Junction. People died in that place too. Invariably, we had 13 people dead and 14 injured. As soon as this bomb blast occurred, all the security agents converged to rescue those who were injured, taking them to the hospital and taking the dead to the mortuary. The security agencies, including NEMA and SEMA, and even the civilians too, helped to take the injured to the hospital and the dead to the mortuary. So far, the whole area has been cleared, and we can say that relatively The area is calm now. Thank you very much.
And in related developments, the National Emergency Management Agency says it has a standing agreement with the hospital to address the issue of emergency and medical attention when the need arises. This and others are presented in this update from Jos, the report. After the darkness represented by the bomb explosion in the restive city of Jos, many are living in fear of what will happen next, but according to the North Central Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mohammed Abdul Salam, the agency has put in place measures to address the issue of medical services, especially during emergencies.
Collaborative activities with hospitals in Plateau, particularly government hospitals. And as usual, after depositing the corpses and the injured in the hospitals, we met the most senior doctor on duty, and we inquired if they needed any assistance, which they actually needed, and they mentioned the items, mostly dressing items, dressing materials, and we had them in our MICU vehicle. We immediately released them to enable them to start treatment, and most of the injured people have been treated and have been admitted in their various wards. So it's a continuous exercise. Tomorrow morning we'll also be there and find out if they need any further assistance.
On the injured that were taken to the hospital, Chief Medical Director of Birmingham University Teaching Hospital, Jos, Turo Musa Dankiyao, 3 people were brought in, but 1 died early on Friday.
Well, 3 victims were brought in yesterday. They were all 3 of them were quite critical. 1 died yesterday. 1 is in the intensive care unit, and the other is a bit more stable, so he's in the male surgical ward. They are both responding to treatment. They both had surgeries yesterday and continuing care today. So of the 2 that are still with us, we have high hopes that they will soon be better and leave the hospital.
One of the victims still undergoing treatment has this to say on how he narrowly escaped death.
I saw the owner of the car just fall down, catching fire. And I saw the head of the one that brought the bomb. I saw his head around while I lay unconscious. So when I'm telling my people to come and take him, nobody fit to come there. So later on, they come carry me to hospital. So from there, I come found myself like this.
The fear in the city is, however, high, with many residents afraid of what will happen next. The Department of State surveyed warns operators of motor parks to properly screen vehicles, passengers and luggages before entering their premises. It also advised them to look out for new faces who show up as drivers and bus conductors. This, according to the DSS, is because Boko Haram has resorted to venting its anger on soft targets after the sustained air and ground offensive on its position in the northeast. A spokesperson, Mary Oga, also cautioned members of the public to desist from boarding unmarked vehicles along the road. And in a bid to beef up security in the state, the Comptroller General of the Nigerian prisons, Peter Ezenwa, says security agents in the country, especially the prison authorities, are redoubling their efforts to secure the confinement centers for offenders disrupting the peace of the country. He decried the rise in the number of jailbreaks in the country, stating that such experience will soon be a thing of the past, while thanking the Oyo State government for its assistance to the prison operators. The Comptroller General requested for additional support for effective operations.
We are engaging the various state governments and all that in discussions so that we'll be able to move the prisons where they are supposed to be as penitentiary institutions. In fact, as of now, the Akwa Ibom state government relocated our prison. They had to build a new one for us at CoreTV. Currently, that they are doing one again at CoreTV to remove the prison from its present location, because most of them are just right in the heart of the city, which isn't very good for us.
The promise to continue in the support for the prison agency and other security agencies, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Moses Adeyemo, stated 3 prisons located in Ibadan, Ogbomoso and Oyo State are currently over-congested and in need of urgent intervention from the federal government so as to avoid an outbreak in the state.
Formerly, you agreed with me that Oyo State was known as a very terms of hooligans or hooliganism and the rest of them. But since this administration has come to power, Oyo has changed. We are aware that the federal government is building a new prison at Olumi. We want to appeal to the federal government through you that the earlier this project is completed, the better for the people of Oyo State.
Police authorities say a number of suspects are in custody for their roles in disrupting the governorship rally and the All Progressive Congress in Okrika, Rivers State. Speaking exclusively to CoreTV News in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Juku says despite the arrest investigations are still ongoing into the shooting incident that left at least one policeman dead. He also called on politicians to play the game by the rules while assuring the public of the police readiness to deal with anyone involved in acts capable of disrupting the peace.
Because sometimes when a matter happens, another one comes subsequently and we forget the former ones. Police investigations are thorough and they must be detailed. They are not things you do overnight. They are not quick fixes. If you want to investigate a case that involves life or use of firearms, some of these are very serious offenses, some are capital offenses. You must be detailed. It takes time. And so investigation, being a laborious exercise, has to be allowed to run its full course. Don't just hurry, in one day you've completed the investigation. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. So investigation into those cases you've just mentioned are ongoing. Maybe a number of them may have been concluded and the suspects tried to court. But if you do a follow-up, you may find them in court. I can tell you we're not sleeping on any of such matters.
And also Nigerian Western leaders have called on Russian authorities to get to the truth behind the killing of opposition politician Boris Nemtsov. U.S. President Barack Obama urged a transparent investigation, while German Chancellor Angela Merkel said the killing must be explained and the perpetrators brought to justice. Nemtsov was shot 4 times in the back on a bridge near Kremlin, with President Putin quickly condemning the killing and has also taken personal control of the investigation. Then that several motives for the killing were being considered, including Islamic extremism and victims' alleged links with Ukraine. It added that the attack was meticulously planned and the killers who fled in the car had been tracking Nemtsov's movement around the city. Boris Nemtsov died hours after appealing for support for a march on Sunday in Moscow against the war in Ukraine. And that's it on the news on the hour. Do join us at the top of the hour for more updates. I am Simone Suku. Thank you very much indeed.